Hello? You in there? Can you hear me? I'm just kidding. That's called acting. And speaking of acting, it's that special time of year again where we look at the top 5 worst films of the year. By we, I mean me. I give you the only objectively correct top 5 worst list. And let me tell you, after going through the garbage here, dumpster diving, I found that 2025 was a pretty special year for some bad super stinkers. It was tough, but I was able to narrow it down to the worst films of the year. Looking for the worst movies of the year. I know two off the top of my head. I know the worst and the second worst. What we need to fill in is the third, fourth, and fifth. Captain America Brave New World was bad, but definitely not top 5 worst of the year bad. This one's obviously in the top 5. Electric State was a $300 million super stinker disaster film. That was absolutely horrible. Snow White might be in there. I'll put it up here to the side. It might be just out of the top 5 worst of the year. We'll see. Though it does say something that it's one of the first films I've ever walked out of. So maybe it should be in there by default just for that fact. Woman in the Yard, also very strong in contention there for top 5 worst. I don't think Until Dawn will make it, but I'm going to put it there just in case so we can see all of the worst films of the year. Hurry Up Tomorrow probably makes it somewhere in there. Do people still delude themselves into thinking this is a good movie, or have we finally evolved past that point? I remember I caught a lot of heat for talking about how absolute dog shit Hurry Up Tomorrow was. Are we finally allowed to just say that confidently, or are people still trying to defend the movie? It was actually easy. War of the Worlds is the worst. Yeah, spoiler alert. There's nothing worse than War of the Worlds. It is quite possibly one of the worst movies I've ever seen. Because it is just a 2-hour Amazon ad, basically. And can't even just have the audacity to be somewhat watchable. We already know what the worst is. You spoiled it. Megan 2's bad, but doesn't make top 5. Jurassic World Rebirth is bad, doesn't make top 5. War of the Worlds, we already know it's the worst. But let's pretend that it's still... we don't know what the worst movie of the year is yet. Who's to say? Him was bad. I don't know if it'll make top 5, though. I'll put it there just in case. Where's I Know What You Did Last Summer? That one will comfortably be in there somewhere. But I haven't seen it yet. Did I scroll past it? I don't think it was that long ago. Was it? Tron Ares. Tron Ares was bad, but it's not in the top 5. At least Tron Ares had visual spectacle that was cool. These up here already have nothing redeeming about them. Tron Ares is bad. Jared Leto's fucking awful. Jared Leto is box office poison that instantly tanks anything that he appears in. But it's still not to this level of these. Okay, are my eyes closed or something here? I haven't seen Strangers Chapter 2, nor have I seen I Know What You Did Last Summer. And I'm pretty sure they came out in this area. Because they definitely weren't in December. This is crazy. Where were they? Okay, so here's Strangers Chapter 2, September. July! Wow, I didn't know it was that far back. Okay. These are definitely the worst movies of the year. So now let's order them. Pretty competitive. Pretty competitive year for dog shit. What about Five Nights at Freddy's 2? Nah, I think these are worse. At least I had somewhat of an enjoyable time watching that, even though I think the movie's terrible. These were miserable. It might be I Know What You Did Last Summer. I think probably I Know What You Did Last Summer would be number 5. Yeah. This movie just sucks major ass across the board. The characters are extremely stupid, and you as the viewer are just insulted for even being there. It's just genuinely a mind-numbing film. It also ruins the legacy characters from the series. Spoiler alert. Does anyone care? I doubt it. In fact, I'll do you a favor. The main bad guy, well, the surprise main bad guy after the main bad guy reveal is Freddie Prinze Jr., which is crazy. That's a crazy decision to have him be like the ultimate bad guy after the way he was established in the series already. Let's not act like the original was good. Yeah, but the original's at least charming. It's still like a classic. This is just trash. There's just nothing to like about this movie at all. Genuinely nothing. Heel turn for Freddy. Yeah, it's a nonsensical one, too. The monkey at least had some interesting kills. Monkey wasn't good, but it wasn't this bad. So I know what you did last summer, 2025. Congratulations. Rank 5 of the worst films of the year. Number 4, it's not going to be him. Him's not good, but it's not nearly to these Titans levels. I think objectively, Strangers Chapter 2 is a worse movie than Until Dawn. But Until Dawn shamelessly borrows a beloved IP's name and then makes something that's not even remotely related to it. This movie has nothing to do with the games. This movie is basically just like a joke film, more of a dark comedy than anything. You've probably seen the viral clip where that guy drinks some water and then blows up on the toilet. He just gets insta-gibbed. That's from this movie. It just has nothing to do with the game at all, and what it is they're stuck in a loop and they need to survive until dawn to break it, but they can't because everything's trying to kill them. A bunch of scary things out there. The water makes you explode for some reason. Isn't The Strangers kind of doing the same thing, borrowing an IP and ruining it? In a different way, yeah, you can make that argument. But Strangers Chapter 1, which this directly follows, was just as shitty, if not shittier. Until Dawn is a game that is being adapted into a movie that has actually nothing in common with the game at all. It's between these two for number 4, I would say. Oh man, but then I didn't even consider Woman in the Yard or Hurry Up Tomorrow. Oh wow, what a competitive year. Wow, this is a cutthroat. This is a chin scratcher indeed. I think I'm going to take Woman in the Yard out. Really bad movie, but it at least tried something at the end of the film to make it interesting. It fucking fell on its face. It was very flat. But they did attempt something at the end, which is more than I can say for these two at least. Oh man. Yeah, and as the title advertises, there was a woman in that yard. And that woman stayed in that fucking yard, I'll tell you what. So if you went there for a woman being in the yard, that kind of action, you get it in droves. I think I'm going to give it to Until Dawn. I think Until Dawn is the 4th worst film of the year. I think. No. Yeah. No. The Strangers Chapter 2 also has the gall to be a trilogy. There's a Strangers Chapter 3 coming. And there's something to that. It is probably going to be one of the worst trilogies. Like, statistically, one of the worst trilogies. The first one fucking super flop that's terrible. The second one super flop that's terrible. No doubt the third one will super flop and also be terrible. That's pretty special. Like, this is one really long, drawn-out hemorrhoid. Until Dawn is just one movie. I'll give it to Strangers Chapter 2. I'm locking it in. Strangers Chapter 2. You get a collective like 4.5 hours worth of irredeemable garbage. Strangers Chapter 2. Number 3 now. It's between Snow White and Hurry Up Tomorrow. One of these will escape without being on the top 5. Maybe as an honorable mention, they'll live on. Snow White, I really didn't like it all. I don't think it's the worst live action ever made, though. I think it's very bad, and at points unwatchably boring, but I don't think it's the worst Disney live action has done so far. I left the theater, though, because I didn't really feel like waiting till the end. I left with, like, 20 some minutes to go, which has never really happened before. That's pretty special. Hurry Up Tomorrow, though, is basically just The Weeknd giving a very artsy concert, which I can see why people that love The Weeknd might find things to like about it, because you basically just listen to his music and him brooding, which they probably think is cool. In fact, I know exactly I know exactly who this audience is. I know who this was made for. It wasn't made for me. Oh, I didn't even know it flopped. I guess even the audience it was made for didn't bother going to see it. Tough. This is competitive. Snow White or Hurry Up Tomorrow? The scene where he says "shut up" kills me every time. Hurry Up Tomorrow does have some iconic scenes with The Weeknd. Snow White has nothing. So maybe that's a point for Hurry Up Tomorrow to get out of number 3. Because I do remember more from Hurry Up Tomorrow than I do Snow White. Him being tied to the bed, having gasoline poured on him, and he starts singing a cappella. There are some good moments in there. Good, as in, like, silly, stupid. Yeah, maybe I'm going to give number 3 to Snow White. Because you can at least enjoy Hurry Up Tomorrow as a fun, bad movie. No one's ever going to turn this movie on again if they had the misfortune of watching it once. There's not a whole lot of enjoyment. I'm going to give number 3 to Snow White. Honorable mention to Hurry Up Tomorrow. I think that makes the most sense. Number 2, it's Electric State. I knew going into this where Electric State would be. This movie super sucks, but the thing that really sets it apart from the rest is that it had a budget of $320 million. One of the most expensive films ever made. And I think very few people watched it, and those that did, like me, really were cursed with some very trash garbage. It's bad. I don't know where this $320 million went. Like, some of the visuals are fine, but it's not, like, mind-boggling. And it definitely didn't go to any writers, because this movie is just bad. Like, the whole narrative is bad. The only thing good about it is the world, and apparently it's because it's just borrowed directly from the book. Laundering scheme tier. It has to be money laundering, right? With a budget as bloated as this, it's gotta be to some extent money laundering. Russo Bros need to stick to superhero movies. Maybe. If this is the best they can deliver outside of the superhero genre, absolutely. Electric State is an astronomically bad adaptation of its source material. The author was so insulted he refused to have his name credited. Is that true? I didn't know that. I mean, I knew that they, like, bought the rights to do this. I didn't know that the author refused to be credited. But yeah, easily number 2 worst movie of the year. No doubt. And number 1, surprised to no one, it's War of the Worlds. This is a historically bad film. There's just actually nothing to like about it. But this is a movie you could kick back with your friends and have a good laugh with. This is a movie you can point and laugh at comfortably. Like, you won't be bored if you're watching this to shit on it. It gives you endless material to insult. All the Amazon product placement. To call it product placement is so underselling it. It's not product placement. The whole movie is about the product. A core component to the ending is the goofy boyfriend who's like, I work for Amazon and I actually fucking love it. Wait, Mr. Ice Cube, we have to get you this fucking thing. I forgot, I think it was a thumb drive. But you're too far away. Wait, Eureka! Amazon drones. I can fly an Amazon drone. So then you have an entire chase sequence of the Amazon drone avoiding alien spaceships. He's like, oh, Amazon drone. Yeah, but Amazon drone. Fuck. And then they, like, hack into that guy's phone to flip over the Amazon drone once he, like, turtles it. And it's all just about the Amazon drone program. Didn't they also use real war footage with aliens edited in? I read that. I didn't bother to dive too deeply, but I read they used actual conflict and then just basically photoshopped the aliens into it. which were fundamentally just Unity models, like Unity assets. God, it looked so terrible. Didn't the director go on record to say he didn't intend to promote Amazon? I didn't see that, but if he did, that's the biggest lie I've ever heard. That man's nose must have grown 50 sizes. That is some liar, liar, plants for hire right there. Amazon was a core part of the story. I watched the movie for the end credits. I forgot, what were the end credits? I remember he becomes a YouTuber. He becomes, what was the name of the hacker guy? I can't remember. Big Buster or something? I can't remember. Who were they chasing? Disruptor! That's what it was. Disruptor. We're all disruptors now. I get War of the Worlds is dog shit awful, but Charlie, nothing, and I mean nothing, beats Fuck My Son for the worst movie of the year. About an elderly woman that finds her mutant son who can't get laid, a young woman. Where did you even find a movie called Fuck My Son? That can't be an actual real production. That has to be some shit you found on like an indie site. Like just a random spot promoting like student film garbage or something. What is that? It's on the Wikipedia page. No way, I'm gonna look it up right now. This feels like something I probably can't put on screen. I just googled Fuck My Son. What a crazy thing to Google. American comedy horror film from Todd Rohal, based on the comic Fuck My Son, A Tale of Terror. What is this? Premiered September 11th, 2025. September 11th for the premiere of this. Wow, huh? A box office performance of $33,000. What a smash hit.